And welcome here to TalkFCB, and welcome back to the channel here today, guys, where it is still TalkFCB on the move. I am still out and about, and I am still without, unfortunately, my usual microphone, but we've got plenty of news that we're going to be discussing. Believe me, guys, we've got the likes of Ronald Araújo Marc Casado, Ferran, Torres, Vitor Roque, and Viktor Gyökeres discussed in today's video. But in the previous video that we did, a few people said there they enjoy the different kind of ambience there. So what we've actually got here today, you might hear in the background a little bit of water. You can see right here going over this bridge, there's a bit of water, a little bit of a waterfall there in the distance. But I've got to be very, very careful here, because if I drop my phone in there, well, we're done. We are absolutely done, because then there's no microphone at all. So let's actually just step away. We're going to go back up the mountain where we were the other day. A little bit more mist in the air today, bit of moisture. It's been raining here, quite cold as well, but we do still have, and this is the most important thing, we've still got the sheep in the background. They are here again to witness another live TalkFCB video. But a lot of people again in the comments said, you know what, those sheep, I don't think they're Barca fans. And I agree, you're right. They are actually Real Madrid fans. That's what they are there. They are gathered over there. And I can actually goad them because they are locked in. They can't get to me, so I can say whatever I want. But hey, guys, let's get here to the main attraction of the video. Let's get back down to business. And I want to run you through some Barcelona news right now, starting with Marc Casado, because this is a really, really nice quote that I read today, and I was just really happy reading it. And actually, Marc Casado here, such a fan favourite now, isn't he? We absolutely love them. And he actually went on to say, the day that we beat Real Madrid 4-0 in the Clásico at the Bernabeu, he says there, it's the best day of his entire life. He said it's the best day that I've ever had on a football pitch so far. And he said his whole family, they were sitting down there watching the game at home, and they told him after the game, we've been crying for the entire match. You know, they said they were so emotional watching what you were doing. And of course, he was so key in that game, providing an absolutely beautiful assist to Robert Lewandowski. And Casado's family there, so proud of him, I'm sure. And Casado did say, look, I'm not an anti-Madridista, but he said I'm a culé. I'm a huge Barca fan, and it really did mean the world to me. And that is the other reason why I really love Casado, not only because of what he's showing on the field, the talent that he has, the quality he's brought to his team, but at the same time, you know that he really does love this club. You know that every single second that he's out there, he's working for this team, he is feeling every moment of it, and he is fighting for this club. And that is really what we want from every single player there, that fight, that determination, and that hunger to succeed for this badge. And that is what you get from Marc Casado. He leads by example, and that is why, like I say, we all absolutely love him and what he is doing in this team right now. Then though, guys, we must move on to talk about Ronald Araújo, and two different things really on Araújo right now. Number one, of course, when is he going to be back in this team? We're all very excited about his return, him coming back into that back line there. And most importantly, I think it's not just about him coming back, but returning in this system, in this particular high line here under Hansi Flick. And what really makes me excited for Araujo's return is when you listen to Hansi Flick talking about him there. What he says about Araújo every time that he's asked, he cannot wait for him to return, to be back in this team. And if Flick is excited, well then I am definitely excited too. But on Araujo's return, I have to say, guys, over the past few days we've heard in the Spanish media a few different reports on him, because we actually thought that maybe he'd be returning ahead of schedule, that maybe after this international break, maybe towards the end of November, Araújo could be back in this team. That was one thing that we were really getting excited about. But it does appear over the past few days like maybe it's still going to be December. That is what we're hearing right now. And I don't think there's been any relapse there, but I do think Barca are being very cautious with him. Of course, Araújo himself has had plenty of injury problems there, muscle issues where he's been out for weeks and months at a time. So Araújo here, he's building up that fitness. He's been returning slowly but surely to training, building things up. Now, whether anything maybe was just moving a bit too quickly and they've really slowed that down, we'll have to wait and see. But right now we are hearing it could be December rather than November. But of course, what we'd rather at this stage, guys, is that he comes back and stays fit. We don't want to cut any corners. We want to rush him back. We want him to be here in the team and settled under Flick when he does return. But on his contract situation, things are looking much more positive, of course. He is one of those players that his contract expires in 2026. Not all that far away. He's in the same boat there, of course, as Frenkie de Jong is. But on Araújo, things are looking much better, much more certain. Talks have been going very well with the club. And what we're hearing this week is that a contract renewal may indeed be agreed and signed by the end of the year there. So I think Araújo returning to this team and that contract renewal, it's all going to take shape in December there. So we could have some very, very good positive news on Araújo in the next month or so with regard to him playing in this team and with regard to him staying in this team. And of course, we all want to see him do well there. One of our captains at the club and can be an absolutely phenomenal player at his best that Flick will be looking to bring out at all times. But then we do move on to the forward side of the team. And first of all, guys, an update on Ferran Torres, because obviously he's been out injured as well the past few weeks. Now Hansi has been ruled out injured, so we're another forward short there in the squad. But on Ferran, he has been working well, he has been recovering very well, and we are hearing on him after the international break. He should be pretty much ready to go. So his return there to the team, it is imminent with Ferran Torres. But I want to talk actually about Vitor Roque right now, and particularly what Deco had to say on his future there, because he spoke very openly, Deco, about Vitor Roque, the way that he was treated during his short time at Barca, and what he's feeling now with him out on loan at Betis, with a view to his long-term future. Deco actually said there, right now, he's doing well, he's scoring goals. Since I've known Barca, since I've been associated with this club, Deco said, though, I cannot remember such a bad attack on a young player. He said it came from the outside and it came in the direction of Roque. He said such bad and ugly criticism there for an 18-year-old kid when he was at Barca. He said Vitor has been hurt and it's been very hard for me to see him suffer, to see how much of a bad time that he's had. So I'm happy now that he's playing, that he's scoring and that he's enjoying himself again. He said he's a young man who has a lot of potential and he's going to grow and show that he's a great player. And that is really interesting there on Vitor Roque, because Deco, I think, of course, very involved in the transfer. He was one of the ones that really pushed for Roque to join Barca, convinced him actually to sign here and made sure that the agreement was made with Atletico Paranaense. So Deco here really coming out in a big defence of Roque, doesn't like the way that he was treated, believes there that he still has big potential, but he did go on to say he didn't cost 60 million. Deco is very, very clear on that. He said he didn't cost 60 million, he's cost 30 million plus variables that haven't been reached yet because we haven't won any titles since he's been here and he hasn't played a percentage of games. So Deco there, he's already talking about variables not being met. He's already talking there about the fact that Roque wasn't really playing. You know, was that in any way connected to what we saw last season? But he did say Vitor's plan was to come this season. That was the plan. And he said the plan then was if he couldn't be registered, we would loan him out for the season. But he said he arrived in January because the coach at the time, which was Xavi, he asked for him after Gavi's injury, but he is not to blame for coming in January. He said now we look for a loan so that he can continue to grow in La Liga. That was always the plan there. So Deco's saying, look, he wasn't even meant to get here until this season. And even then, we were open to the idea of him leaving on loan. So Deco here doesn't seem to be massively panicked by the Vitor Roque situation. I think he's very angry. I think he's very frustrated about the way that Roque was treated so early on in his Barca career, judged after very, very few minutes, of course, on the field, let's not forget, and maybe even before he should have even arrived at the club as well. So Roque, I think there, he is a young player. That's what we said the other day. He's younger than maybe people make him out to be. You know, he still deserves time. He still deserves patience. And I think his future, it will be decided on how his rest of the season goes at Real Betis, because then what we have to talk about as well, guys, talking about strikers there, we have to discuss Viktor Gyökeres again, because honestly, guys, the rumours are getting more and more intense regarding this man, because honestly, it looks as though we really like him. It looks as though Barca have actually said, this is the man that we want to go for. When Lewandowski's time is over, when there's an opportunity there to go into the market, Gyokeres, he is the player that we are really looking at right now. And particularly, the price tag is important. What we are hearing is between 60 and 70 million euros. But I think the timing is going to be even more crucial. Because is it even going to be at the end of the season? You know, is there going to be an option to sign big? And are we going to sign big when Lewandowski could still be at the club? Could you have the two working together there, sharing minutes and sharing responsibility? Because then my next point would be, well, if it's not going to be this summer, is he actually going to wait? You know, is Gyokeres going to stay at Sporting? Is he actually going to wait around another year? Or is it all going to happen this summer? Because the way that he's playing, the way that he is scoring goals, the form that he's on, it feels as though his big move is coming this summer. So Barca, for me, if they're serious about him, if they actually want Gyokeres, it might not be linked. It might not have to be linked there to Lewandowski. Because if they really do want him, they're going to need to act now. And apparently you've already spoken with Sporting. Apparently you've already spoken there with Gyokeres' camp. That tells me that Barca, they're serious, they're looking at him, and they're thinking about him now. But do you think that can happen this summer? And would you actually go out and pay 60 to 70 million euros to sign Gyokeres? Is he ready for that big move? I think his goal scoring speaks for itself. I think the way that he's been playing, not only this season, because when people talk about him, they talk about form. They talk about, oh, he's in form, he's showing good quality. I think the amount of time here that he's been firing on, the amount of time that he's been playing at this level, is it form anymore? Can you keep calling it form? Or is this just a great player? Is this somebody here who can really come in, start firing now, hit the ground running at Barca, and be a more long-term option in that centre-forward role, guys? And that's what I'd like to know in the comments down below from you today. Obviously, we've spoken about a lot of different topics, but for me, Gyokeres right now, that's the big talking point. That is the big one there to debate amongst yourselves. We've spoken about Erling Haaland over on MORETALKFCB on the podcast. We've spoken a lot as well about Gyokeres. We've also spoken about different targets too in that forward area. But what would you do? And is this really the time to spend big in the summer of 2025, guys? So that is something that you can tell me in the comments down below, and I do hope today you have enjoyed the mobile TalkFCB content here, walking around, talking with you guys. Thank you very much indeed for joining me. I should probably get back now before it starts to get dark, and then we really might be in trouble here up on the mountain. But thank you guys for all of your support. I hope you're still enjoying the videos, and I will be back shortly as well. Lots and lots to come. Big games coming up for Barca, and we will all be ready for those. I will catch you all soon. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. That's me signing off now, and I hope I will see you again. But until next time, guys, as always, Vejska, El Barça.